Good day all. Not been doing a lot of videos these days, as some of you will be aware, and the videos that I have been doing have largely been inspired by my DMT experiences. But today's video has been inspired by a video that one of my viewers sent me, and this video made reference in it to him, the video maker, not being any better than anybody else. Now, it's not important to mention who the person was that made this video, but a very prolific video maker and somebody, incidentally, whom I respect a great deal. But one thing that he said within the video, which I disagree with, was that he said, "I'm not better than you. I don't want you to think I'm better than you. And I don't think I'm better than you." I look at that statement and to me it smacks of insecurity, and it's completely erroneous. When you've got this new age rubbish going around, we're all equal and nobody is any better than anybody else, well, look at how preposterous that statement is, and look at the weakness and mediocrity which it derives out of. How can any of us say that I'm not better than somebody else, or you're not better than somebody else? When people say, "Oh, so you think you're better than everybody else?" I would pose the question, what do you mean by better? "Oh, you just think you're better." Well, come on, substantiate your accusation. What are you actually inferring? "Well, the way you speak, you think you're in a higher position than everybody else." Look, people can make a statement whereby they can say, "I am a very good this," or "I'm a very good that." For instance, if somebody has been studying and playing music for many years, then don't you think it's perfectly acceptable for them to say, "I'm a better guitar player," or "I'm a better violin player than you," if you don't play, or if you're just a beginner? It's perfectly reasonable, isn't it? Or if you want to be self-effacing, then you say to yourself, "Oh, I'm no better than anybody else." Well, I mean, what are you doing then? You're just trying to be in avoidance of people having resentment towards you. You see, this is the whole thing when people say, "Oh, I'm not better than anybody else." It's just a self-effacing to appease all the people out there who aren't as good in a particular way as the person saying it, who aren't as good as many other people at doing many other things. Why is it that within this day and age, nobody can be better than anybody else? It's ridiculous. If somebody has been a builder for 20 years and then there's an apprentice that he's employing, well, the person employing the apprentice is a better builder. He's put all those years, time and effort into learning his trade. And so therefore, it's simple logic, isn't it? And so what do we do then these days with all this postmodernism nonsense, new age nonsense that's so prolific? Nobody's better than anybody else. All it's doing is substantiating the weak and the inadequate and the lazy, so they can feel more comfortable in a world when many people around them are better than them. Maybe they're just better people. Why are they better people? Well, let's have a look at some humanistic facets then of being a better person. If you're a kinder person, if you're a more helpful person, if you're a more considerate person, if you listen, if you have more inner standing, all of these human attributes, they go to make you a better person, rather than somebody that frankly doesn't give a damn. doesn't have any interest in anything, doesn't want to learn nothing. And so if we then are to go with this, we're all equal and nobody's better than anybody else, then don't you think that that just breeds laziness, ignorance, and all of the negative connotations? If somebody can be a complete bastard all their life, under the presumption, you're no better than me. Excuse me, I am better than you. I'm not a complete bastard. Look at what you're doing. You're destructive, you're demeaning, everywhere you go you cause chaos and anxiety in people. You're an abomination of a person. So don't we, as better people, have the entitlement to label ourselves as that? Don't we, as accomplished people, have the entitlement to label ourselves as that? I am a better builder than you. I am a better human being than you. Look at all the anthropological. Look at all the anthropological. It's early, you know what I mean. Anthropological. Look at all the anthropological work that I've been doing. Look at all the charity work I do. Look at how helpful I am. Look at how kind and considerate I am. I'm a better human being than most who don't do those things, whom are self-serving and very egotistical in negative ways. Oh, fuck this, oh, fuck that. Oh, I can't bother to do this, there's no point. Because we're heading into an arena where we're all equal anyway. So why should I put any effort in? Why should I be kind to people? Why should I, whilst I'm on this planet, do anything to benefit mankind whatsoever? If we're all equal. And nobody can say anything to me, nobody can point out my deficits, because then I can start crying to authorities, and the authorities will say, "Oi, you said you're better than this person. You pointed out the negative aspects of this person. We're not allowing that." Look at these little snitching rooms you've got in universities now. Look at the proliferation of postmodernism. How nobody can be anything individual. You can't even be male or female these days. What's that saying? What is that doing to the human psyche? I think, personally, it's completely obliterating the human being. It's making the endeavour to self-actualise pointless. Because if you become a self-actualised person, if you're going to be accepted by being a self-actualised person, then you have to become so unoffensive, so humbled, so non-effacing. All the time you've got to be saying, I'm not better than you, just because I've studied this all my life, and just because I've become, you know, a brilliant sports person or anything of this nature, I'm not better than you. All of the out-of-shape people, all the people that don't look after their bodies and things like that. When you have somebody who is the epitome of a beautiful human being in perfect shape, are they not better than the people who are out of shape? Well, they're better in that instance, aren't they? They're better at sport, they're better at keeping themselves pure, they're better at looking more beautiful and becoming a self-actualised human being. Is there not any difference these days? All of the people, I don't know, maybe some of you, who are lazy, you don't want to learn about anything, you don't want to put the energy in because you think, I can't be bothered, what's the use? You just want to lay in the flow of the postmodernism, protectionism, whereby nobody can say anything to you in a university or in a workplace because you'll start screaming persecution. That's pathetic. And that in itself is a disgusting trait. For people who want to rely solely on this new idiocy that's coming about, that we're all equal. There's no such thing. In some instances, we can say we're born equal. Some are not born equal, evidently. Some are born handicapped, and some are born with an ability to think less, more profoundly than lots of other people. But let's just say that, broadly speaking, we're all born equal. Then, if we're born equal, and none of us ever do anything or achieve anything in our lives, then there's never going to be any variance, really, is there? But if people spend all of their lives educating themselves, and others around them don't, is there no difference there? Are the educated people better? Do they, in general, not do better deeds? Are they not productive for humanity? If somebody goes to university and studies science, and then they invent something which is of great service to humanity, are they not better people? Precisely. I think I've laboured my point enough here to get some sort of clarity on it. So what I'm saying here then, that this postmodernism business is a poison for the human being. This business of that we're all the same and nobody's any better is a poison, because it just strips anybody with any energy, with anything about them, to go and do something in this world. Because the more they progress along their self-actualization, the more they're going to feel potentially afraid and intimidated by all of the mediocrity around them, because they've accomplished something. And they are in actual fact better people, but goodness me, they can never breathe it anywhere, and nobody around them can ever breathe it, because otherwise it's shh, 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 shh. You can't be saying that, no, no, no. And you make me so embarrassed, and I have to become so self-effacing, and all the time, I'm not better than anybody else, I'm not better than you, I'm not saying this and I'm not saying that. Goodness me, petrified of offending the mediocre. It's a sickness, people. So, that's one of my thoughts for the day.